Now then guys, Quinn's Dude here, back on the Rad Music Chat channel. Today we are looking at an album from the 90s that is from an artist that will definitely split opinion. And this album was one of the most definitive albums of the 90s. So let's get into it. Welcome back to the Rad Music Chat channel, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Just some quick housekeeping as usual. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. There will definitely be something that comes along that will be of your interest. And below, if you like this video, you will see the thumbs up. So for today's video, we are jumping back into the 1001 Albums You Must Hear Before You Die book. And the album that we are looking at is from 1993, and it's from BJORK, the Icelandic artist, and it's her album debut. The genres for this one are trip hop, art pop, and house, but that doesn't even come close to scratching the surface on this one. So a quick bit of background. BJORK was the singer in the late 80s and very early 90s of a Icelandic sort of indie pop punk rock group called the Sugar Cubes, which were pretty weird and eclectic themselves. But BJORK found herself tiring of the sort of traditional band setup of guitars, bass, drums, and spent some time in the UK and found that the electronic dance music, house music, rave scene was exactly what she'd pictured it to be, and felt extremely inspired after spending some time with members of the EDM group 808 State. Now the producer on this album, is very important to note, was Nelly Hooper. Now Nelly Hooper was part of the Wild Bunch, that was a collective of musicians from Bristol that basically created the musical genre trip hop. So you in this kind of genre, you know, you had the Sneaker Pimps, you had Portishead, Massive Attack, Tricky. You know, that was all known as Bristol's Wild Bunch. Now BJORK's boyfriend at the time, the DJ Dominic Thrupp, introduced her to Nelly Hooper. And BJORK was going to be using various different producers, but connected so much with Hooper, and he you know, shared the vision so much that basically she decided to do the whole record with Hooper. So the album was released through One Little Indian Records on the 5th of July in 93. Now essentially what happened was there was 4 singles from the album: Human Behavior, Venus as a Boy, Big Time Sensuality, and Violently Happy. The album was later then reissued with the song that BJORK did with David Arnold called Play Dead. So that's kind of counted as a single from the album, even though the first pressings of it don't have Play Dead on it. The album's first single, which was released a month before the album's release, was Human Behavior, which actually kicks off the album as well. This samples a Brazilian samba, bossa nova beat that kind of bobs along, shuffles along. And this song is really quite eerie and a really cool way to kick off what is obviously a hugely eclectic album. Also, in my opinion, the music video for Human Behavior is still the best that BJORK's done. So as a side, make sure to check that out. Track 2 on the album, Crying, is actually probably one of the more easy to classify songs, but this makes it no less enjoyable. It is a sort of typical 4 on the floor house music beat that has really cool, awesome like backing vocals on it as well. And this is a song where BJORK really lets rip with that voice. Another single from the album is the 3rd track, Venus is a Boy, and I know this is a really popular track amongst fans of this album, and it actually samples a contemporary Japanese classical music composer called Mayumi Miyata, and it's just a really delicate and pretty song. Bjork has always professed to be such a huge fan of jazz music, and she does the only cover on the album is an old jazz standard called Like Someone in Love, and it literally is minimal strings, but mainly it's just her accompanied by a harp, and definitely sticks out amongst the album's track listing. A huge highlight of the album comes in the form of Big Time Sensuality, which was the fourth single if you include Play Dead on the list of 5 singles. Big Time Sensuality is just so playful, it's euphoric, it's uplifting, it's just a really poppy and dancey track, and just like most of this album, you know, just hasn't aged at all. A highlight for me is the very trip hop heavy, quite subtle One Day. Yeah, just a really nice track, really great vocals in it, has just a really nice mood to the song, and also is one of the songs on the album that features it has to be mentioned, features the backing vocals of a soul singer, sort of a jobbing London-based soul singer that does have her own stuff. I'll link to it below. Jhelisa Anderson, and her voice on this song doing the backing vocals is just absolutely gorgeous, like proper ear candy. Can't talk about debut without mentioning Violently Happy. Violently Happy is this, it's housey song. I guess it's more on the line of sort of techno, I would say, and it just shows you how far, if a hook is good, how far it can carry a song. And the hook on this one is just literally 2 notes, and it goes through the whole song, and it never outstays its welcome. So Bjork is now 10 solo albums into her career, and let it be said that, you know, her influence and her artistic reach cannot be understated. If you enjoy Debut and you listen to it because of this review, you've got a whole world ahead if you want to continue on. I mean, as I say, Bjork, just her reach artistically and culturally is just huge, and she has done, you know, so much, not just her own albums, but she's also, you know, collaborated with so many other people and finds herself so in demand. And I mean, she's covered things, she's done electronic music, pop music, experimental music, avant-garde, classical, you know, she's just done so much. And yeah, it all obviously kicked off with Debut. Yeah, so it's a real mixed bag of stuff, of styles that just have no business working together, but as a cohesive record, Debut really does work. And I remember it was just huge at the time. Thank you guys, that's it for this one, and we will see you on the next. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget to stay rad.